Hey Vikings Nation, can you feel it? That buzz in the air, that tension building as we get closer to the draft? Something big is coming, and trust me, this isn't just about adding talent. This is about revealing the future identity of the Minnesota Vikings offense. And here's the twist. Everything might revolve around one name that's got fans divided right now, Kyler Murray. Because let's be real for a second, the Vikings are standing at a crossroads. This roster has firepower, but it also has cracks. And how this front office chooses to fill those cracks could tell us exactly who they believe in when it matters most. So buckle up, because what happens next in this draft could reshape the entire direction of this team, and you're going to want to hear every detail. Right now, when you look at the Minnesota Vikings offense, it's impossible not to get excited about the top of the depth chart. Justin Jefferson is still one of the most dominant wide receivers in football, and Jordan Addison has proven he's a dangerous weapon alongside him. But after that, that's where things start to get uncomfortable. Because beyond those two stars, the Vikings are staring at uncertainty, and not just for depth, but for the future of this offense heading into 2026 and beyond. Let's talk about that wide receiver room a little deeper. Ty Felton was brought in with hope, with potential, with expectations. But so far, he hasn't made that leap. He's been stuck contributing mostly on special teams, and if we're being honest, he hasn't shown enough to lock down a bigger offensive role. And that raises a serious question. Can the Vikings really go into the future relying on what they currently have behind Jefferson and Addison? Now shift your focus to the tight end position, and things get even more interesting. TJ Hawkinson has been a key piece, a reliable target, a difference maker. But here's the reality. His contract situation means he could be gone after the 2026 season. And while Josh Oliver is elite as a blocker, he's not the kind of player who's going to carry the passing game. That leaves a gap, and it's a big one. So what does all of this mean? It means the Vikings aren't desperate right now, but they're dangerously close to being desperate very soon. And that's exactly why this upcoming NFL draft is so important. Because every pick, every decision, every move will be a clue, a signal about how this team views its future. Now let's bring in the name that's stirring all the debate, Kyler Murray. His presence alone changes the entire conversation. Because if the Vikings are seriously considering building around him, the type of weapons they add in this draft will look very different. And that's where things get fascinating. Kyler Murray isn't the same kind of quarterback as J.J. McCarthy. They play differently, they see the field differently, they succeed in different systems. Murray has shown that he thrives in certain offensive setups, especially ones that use heavier personnel and multiple tight ends. And if the Vikings start leaning in that direction during the draft, that's not a coincidence. That's a message. Back in Arizona, Murray had success in systems where tight ends played a major role in the passing game. He was comfortable attacking seams, using the middle of the field, and exploiting mismatches. That kind of system requires specific types of players. So if Minnesota targets a tight end early, someone athletic, versatile, and dynamic, it could be a huge hint about what's coming next. One name that's been generating buzz is Kenyon Sadiq. This is the kind of player who can stretch the field vertically from the tight end position. He's explosive, he moves well, and he creates problems for defenses in ways that traditional tight ends just can't. And if the Vikings pull the trigger on a player like him, it's going to turn heads across the league. But that's not the only piece of the puzzle. Let's talk about something else Murray loves to do. Throwing jump balls. He's aggressive. He's confident. And he's not afraid to give his receivers chances to go up and make plays. The numbers back it up. Contested catch situations are a big part of his game. And here's the problem. The Vikings don't really have that kind of receiver right now. Yes, Jefferson and Addison are elite. Yes, they can win at the catch point. But they're not necessarily those big-bodied, physical receivers who dominate in contested situations. That's a different skill set. And if Minnesota wants to truly maximize Kyler Murray's strengths, they might need to add someone who fits that mold. Enter a name like Denzel Boston. A bigger target, a physical presence, a receiver who can win those 50-50 balls. A player like that doesn't just add depth, he changes the way defenses have to play against you. And more importantly, he aligns perfectly with Murray's style of play. Now think about this from a bigger perspective. If the Vikings invest in a tight end early, and then follow it up with a contested catch wide receiver, what does that tell you? It tells you they're not just drafting talent, they're building a system that fits a specific quarterback. And that quarterback might not be the one everyone expected. But let's not forget about J.J. McCarthy in all of this. He's still in the picture, still competing, still trying to prove he's the future. However, the reality is, he hasn't fully locked down that role yet. And in the NFL, if you don't take control of your opportunity, the team will look for other options. That's just how this league works. So the Vikings are in a position where they have to make a choice. Do they build around potential, or do they build around proven traits? Do they commit to a developmental path, or do they shift toward a system that can produce results faster? And the draft is where those decisions become real. Every pick is a statement. Every selection is a direction. And fans? We're watching closely, because this isn't just about filling roster spots. This is about defining the identity of the Minnesota Vikings offense for years to come. Are they going to stay the course? Or are they about to surprise everyone? I want to know what you think. Should the Vikings build around Kyler Murray's strengths? Or should they stick with J.J. McCarthy and develop what they already have? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Let's get this debate going, because this is one of the biggest decisions this franchise has faced in years. And if you're as hyped as I am for what's coming next, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with every Vikings fan you know. Because things are about to get very interesting in Minnesota, and you don't want to miss a second of it.